can't happen. Signal, the app that was facilitating this group chat, doesn't work that way. You got to be let into a group chat to be in it on Signal.
Many on Capitol Hill are raising national security concerns, and says Arizona Senator Mark Kelly.
Okay, and we're saying good morning to the people on the video live stream. It is the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's the video live stream. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. And we'll be here all hour talking with CW Tech Robotarians. All right, first things first. Good morning.
Morning.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. Excellent. All right. So microphone primer. Grab it. You own it. That's your microphone right there. And right about here is good. Yeah, as long as you're not like popping in your peas or anything like that, and you're just fine. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, don't go crazy, Melissa. You're fine. No, that's good. All right, there you go. Perfect. Oh, you know, that one's a little bit sensitive. Here, hang on one second. Let me try this. They install these new microphones, and the engineer doesn't give me an instruction manual. There we go. Try that. I think that's about as high as it's going to go.
All right.
So just project your voice. Do you sing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, let's hear some. No, I'm kidding. Just project your voice as you're going. Let's go around the table and just introduce real quick. We'll start with you, Melissa. Just give us who you are and what your role is with the Robotarians.
My name is Melissa Burchell. I am one of the lead mentors. We have 2 lead mentors for the team, so I'm one of the lead mentors on the team.
Excellent. Very good.
I'm Allison Moore. I just a student for the part of the team, and I like to do a lot of the marketing part of the Drive team, and yeah.
Okay. Marketing. Nice. I like it.
My name's Hannah Heisel, and I'm also a student on the team. I've been doing programming, and this past year I've been on Drive team as the driver.
Excellent. All right. How long have you been involved in robotics?
I think about 3 years now.
Okay. Very good. I'll ask you some more questions about like when you got involved and why and that kind of thing. But how about you? How long have you been involved?
This is my first year on the team.
What do you think about it?
I like it a lot. It has a lot of good people, so like we're all really close because like we have smaller numbers, but we all get to bond a lot and get to all like bounce around in different tasks. So it's just really enjoyable for me.
How many people are on the team overall, would you say?
I think like 12 or 13.
Okay, that's a small team. I mean small but mighty, I imagine, right? Robotarians. And how long have you been involved, Melissa?
I've been a mentor for 13 or 14 years.
Okay.
And I've been one of the lead mentors for, this is my 4th year, I think, as a lead mentor.
Okay, so you've seen a little bit.
Yep.
How has it been? Why did you get involved in robotics?
One of my coworkers, he was a mentor already for the team.
Yeah.
And he recruited me to help be a mentor. So I started out as a mentor when I was younger, and then slowly kind of grew in responsibility. And yeah, and I enjoy helping to teach students about engineering and help them be passionate about engineering.
Do you do engineering in your day-to-day work?
Yes, I'm an electrical engineer. I work for Whirlpool Corporation here in town.
Oh, okay. What do you work on? Are you allowed to say? Super secret projects?
I work on circuit boards for appliances.
Okay, excellent. We might have seen the same path. I used to work in GPO as the communications person there.
Okay. Yeah, I used to see your name on all hands.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. All right. Well, we can talk about that offline. We'll talk about that in a moment. Right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got to get some news in, so we'll talk about that here in just a moment. And then we'll come back and talk with the Robotarians. And I'm prepping you now. Robotarians, I want to know what that name is all about and what it means to you, okay? The definition, the history, the etymology. No, I'm just kidding. Now they're getting like, what? Okay. We'll come back and just talk about Robotarians here in just a moment on WSJM. WSJM Morning Show continues. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thank you so much for joining us. It's 7:05 a.m. I just busted one of the Robotarians for sleeping in today. No, that's fine. We Robotics Roundup is going to start in just a few moments here. We're going to be talking with the Creative Works Technologies Robotarians. We have Melissa, Allison, and Hannah in the studio right now. We may be having another join us, but we're going to talk all about robotics and why they got involved, what they do for the robots, how they've been doing in the competitions, and a whole lot more. And Robotics Roundup is brought to you every week by Cook Nuclear, by Lake Michigan College, and by Berrien Springs Public Schools. So we'll be talking with CW Tech Robotarians in just a moment. That's a team made up, and correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa, of community homeschools, Coloma High School, Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, and Michigan Lutheran High School. Yeah, and so you pull from a lot of different area schools, and you've got a small but mighty team, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments right here on the WSJM Morning Show. So thank you. It's 7:06. Temperature outside right now is 32 degrees in Benton Harbor, 34 in St. Joseph. The feels like temperature is probably in the upper 20s. Forecast for today, partly cloudy and mostly clear skies tonight. The high today is going to be around 48, low tonight around 30 degrees. We don't see precipitation until tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's about a 30% chance of rain and a high around 56 degrees. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we do expect mostly cloudy skies. And starting Friday, about a 50% chance of rain and climbing through the weekend. Breezy and mild conditions otherwise. The high on Friday, going to be warm, 68 degrees. Saturday, the high is going to be around 66. And Sunday, we're going to probably have a high around 57 degrees before it drops back down to the 30s for a high on Monday. Some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom today. You might think about ordering your summer reading list from the public library sooner rather than later. Spending cuts at the federal level could affect your experience checking out certain in-demand books. WSJM's Andrew Green has this report.
The South Haven Memorial Library this week released a statement outlining just how cuts to the Institute of Museum and Library Services under an executive order signed March 14th could trickle down to users. Primarily, it says this could lead to the loss of the Michigan Electronic Library, or MEL, and MELCAT. Those two services enable libraries to loan materials to each other across the state. For example, if you're looking for a book that your local library doesn't have, it can often order it through MEL from another library. The South Haven Memorial Library says in 2024 alone, there were more than 980,000 items loaned to patrons across the state through that service. It recommends that anyone with concerns contact their member of Congress. Andrew Green, WSJM News.
The Michigan Department of Natural Resources is reminding budding hunters now is the time to take a hunter safety class if you want to get a hunting license. Second Lieutenant Carrie Foster of the Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division tells us just about everyone who hunts in Michigan must get a certification, that is, in order to obtain a hunting license.
Anybody basically born after 1960 that wants to hunt has to have a hunter safety certificate.
Once you get the certificate by passing a hunter safety class, you don't have to do it again. Foster says the DNR offers a variety of options for the classes, some in person and others remote. Most of the classes are taught by volunteers, and new dates are being added frequently.
There's firearm safety, the wildlife and habitat management, ethics, and then some courses will have other breakouts such as possibly blood tracking, recovery of animals, how to use a map or compass.
Foster says the classes are usually free. If there is a cost, it's usually less than $10. With the spring turkey season starting on April 19th, he says now is a good time to look into what classes are available. The DNR's website is the place to check. We have a link for more information at our website, WSJM.com. Lest We Forget, the group Lest We Forget is gearing up for its annual reenactment weekend. It's scheduled for June 21st and 22nd. There will be a bit of a difference in the program this year. The group's Larry Wozniak was a guest on yesterday's WSJM Morning Show. He tells us the focus for this year is on America's various wars in the desert, and they titled their program The Sandbox Wars. They'll be talking about Desert Storm, Iraqi freedom, and the Afghanistan war. However, it's unlikely there will be any battle reenactments this time around.
We were looking for some reenactors, but there aren't any. The guys who are involved in these wars aren't doing anything, and the other people are more interested in World War II and those kind of things, Korea. Even though there's a little bit of Vietnam reenaction out there, but nothing for this. So we had to find another way to teach the people about the era.
That's why Lest We Forget is planning to host a speaker series featuring local veterans leading up to the June event. The first speaker engagement will be on April 15th.
We've got different eras that were covered, and we got a lot of people in our area who served during those times, and we wanted to give them a chance to tell their story. So, we're starting with Desert Storm and Lee Sherwitz, who was the airport manager for 15 years, and in the Air Force for 26 years.
Senior Master Sergeant Sherwitz will talk about Air Force operations in Desert Storm. Subsequent engagements will focus on Iraqi freedom and Afghanistan on April 22nd and April 29th on into May. All engagements will be held at the Lake Michigan College campus, 7 p.m. start time. We have the full schedule and information at our website, again, WSJM.com. Wozniak says the Lest We Forget Maine program will feature a Gold Star tribute wall for those who died in the Sandbox Wars. It'll be stationed on the banks of the St. Joseph River off Upton Drive in St. Joseph. Iraq War POW Shoshana Johnson will be the guest speaker. That's a look at some of the news that we have in the WSJM newsroom this morning. We have more to talk about. We'll get to that at 7:30. Our guest this hour for Robotics Roundup is Creative Works Technologies Robotarians. It's made up of community homeschools, Coloma High School, Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, and Michigan Lutheran High School. And we have several individuals in the studio right now, and we'll get to our sports with Dave Wolf in just a moment. But why don't we did this on the video live stream. Let's do this for everyone. Just a quick roundtable of your name, your role on the team, and how many years you've been involved in robotics. So we'll start over here on my left with Melissa. Go ahead, please.
My name is Melissa Birchall, and I'm one of the lead mentors for the team. I've been a mentor on the team for 14 years and a lead mentor for 4 years.
Okay, very good. Thank you for doing that. Go ahead, please.
My name's Allison Moore. I'm a student for the team, and I do a lot of marketing and drive team stuff. This is my first year on the team.
First year on the team. Okay, and Hannah?
My name's Hannah Heisel, and I've done programming on the team for these past couple of years. And also, I've been on drive team the past couple of years and was the driver this year.
Okay. Am I saying Robotarians correct? Is Robotarians the correct pronunciation?
Yes.
What does Robotarians mean? What is that name? Who wants to give that a go?
So Tarian means of the people, from what I understand, and so when it's a Robotarian, then you're people of the
robot of the people. I like that.
We do have a mascot logo that we usually call the Beast. That is sort of our mascot.
Is that the thing? The green cat? Is that what that is? Maybe it's not a cat.
It's supposed to be a dinosaur, I believe.
Oh, it totally looks like a dinosaur. Yes. Mm-hmm. No. All right. Very good. I saw it. I thought it was a cat. I apologize. It's a dinosaur. Like two claw, 4 claw. Can't answer that. That's fine. Yeah. That's all right. Okay. They just discovered a 2-clawed dinosaur over in the Gobi Desert. Did you know that?
No, I hadn't
It has
heard
nothing
that.
to do with robotics. I wouldn't expect you to know. No. All right. We'll be back. We're talking with the CW Tech Robotarians this morning. The team is here, and we'll get into that interview right now. We're going to have sports on the air with Dave Wolf, but we'll be back on the video live stream. So join us if you want to learn about it. If you have any questions, put it in the text message of our video live stream. That's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It's all part of the WSJM Morning Show. Okay, and good morning and welcome back to the video live stream. It's the Robotics Roundup. It's brought to you by Lake Michigan College, Berrien Springs Public Schools, and by Cook Nuclear Plant. We're here with Melissa, Allison, and Hannah. They are with CW Tech Robotarians, Creative Works Technologies. What is CW Tech?
So initially, I believe it stood for Coloma and Waterville Technologies.
Okay.
But as more schools joined our teams, we expanded it and made it just Creative Works instead of Coloma and Waterville.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for answering that. So tell us a little bit about your role, Hannah. You're from Our Lady of the Lake. Tell us a little bit about your role as a programmer. What do you do? What does that mean?
I write commands and make subsystems to control the robot, to send the motors different amounts of power based on what we want it to do.
Yeah. Where did you learn how to do that?
I was taught by the mentors on our team.
Okay. All right. So what does that look like, and how much time do you spend? I mean, is it all like in the computer? Is there trial and error? How does it go for you?
Yeah. So usually we write some sort of code, and then we go and test it. And based on that testing, we change it and tune different things.
Yeah. Do you use this programming anywhere else outside of the robotics?
No, I have not yet, but I'm hoping that as I want to be an engineer in college, I'm hoping that it will help me in understanding some of what's going on.
Yeah, that's really cool. Have you been? What does it feel like when you see the robot in action during a competition? You think, oh, I could have programmed that a little different. Does that ever run across your mind?
Yeah, sometimes. But it's generally just very exciting to see it running during competition.
Yeah, I bet. That's really cool. All right, and then Allison, you are on marketing, but you're also on Drive Team. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
Tell us about that.
I play part as the technician. So basically, I just help get the robot situated. I help observe if there's an issue that I notice the other drivers might not have seen.
Okay.
And just at this last competition as well, I also was able to be part of our media person. So I was able to just walk around a little more and just take pictures of the bot and just the drivers and just see what we're really about the competition and just see the fun in it.
Yeah. See, exactly. You're as the media person, that's exactly what I like to do. Is go around and just take pictures and stuff. No, it is fun to help people tell their stories as part of robotics. What did you learn was most interesting about other people's as you were going around the competition?
I thought it was just most interesting, just seeing the various teams and how they all deal with the amount of team numbers and just local challenges. Because there's a whole bunch of newer teams that we saw, and just seeing how they interact with the older ones and just seeing the friendships that are made. Everyone there was so nice. It shocked me. The first few competitions, just people just would randomly be like, "Hey, you need help? We can help."
Yeah.
They were just so nice, and just it's really interesting seeing dynamics like that.
Yeah, I think what's fascinated me most about learning more about FIRST Robotics is really that spirit of cooperation is the word, I think, where it's a hybrid, it's a mashup between cooperation and competition. You cooperate with each other, but you also know you're always competing against each other as well. How did you do in the most recent competitions?
We did pretty well. Our robot made it pretty far in the finals. We were picked in an alliance with Team Chaos and Team Wobot, and I think we were ranked 19th in the qualification matches.
Okay.
I know we had some issues with some parts breaking, which we weren't expecting, but overall, I think we did pretty well.
Okay. Was that in Berrien Springs?
That was...
Or in St. Joseph?
West Michigan at Grand Valley State University just this past weekend.
Oh, this past weekend you went to GVSU?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. How many competitions have you have been in this year?
We've done 2 so far.
Okay.
That's going to be it.
And we think that's probably our last.
Okay.
Unfortunately, not quite enough points to qualify for state.
Okay. But you were in there and you were doing it.
Yeah, and we had fun, which is one of the most important things as
Okay.
well. So.
Excellent. Well, we'll talk more about that in just a moment. We're here talking with the CW Tech Robotarians. We've got Melissa, Allison, and Hannah. Melissa is the co-lead and mentor. I'll ask you a little bit about your mentor responsibilities in just a moment, and what you find most challenging as a mentor and most rewarding as well. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. Do we have the other person? Is the other person going to be joining us?
I don't think so.
Okay. If the person who's out in the lobby wants to come in and hang out and talk on the microphone, they can as well.
All right.
Okay. We'll be right back here on the WSJM Morning Show. And good morning. Welcome again to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It is 7:20, and it's Wednesday, March 26th. It's Wednesday. Typically, we do this on Thursdays, but we decided to do it Wednesday this week because the schedule worked out well. Creative Works Technologies Robotarians are here in the office for Robotics Roundup. Robotics Roundup is brought to you by Lake Michigan College, by Cook Nuclear Power Plant, and also by Berrien Springs Public Schools. Excuse me, frog crawled into my throat. We have now 4 people in the studio. Are you going to be talking on a microphone? You're not going to be talking. We might get you later this hour. All right. But we're here with Melissa, who's the co-lead mentor, Melissa Burchill with the Robotarians. Also, Allison Moore is here from Michigan Lutheran, and Hannah Heisel is here. Did I say that right? Heisel? Okay, very good. With Our Lady of the Lake. And Robotarians, I mean, it's a collective of schools. How many different school entities are represented on the Robotarians? Anyone know?
I think right now it's 3 schools and homeschool.
Okay. That's awesome. And so where do you meet? Where is the robot headquarters?
So we meet at Osco Products. They have been kind enough to give us a space to work in.
Very nice. Okay. And I mean, that during the winter, that's not always the easiest trek to make. It's one thing going to your school, you know how to get there. But if you have to go to a different location and you've got 3 or 4 different school entities going there, that's a commitment. So good on you for doing that. Hannah, you've been in robotics for 3 years. And then Allison, you've been in robotics. This is your first year. So I'll ask you a little bit about why you got into it in just a moment. So we'll talk about that. But first, let's hear from Melissa Burchill, who's the co-lead mentor. You've been involved for 13, 14 years in FIRST Robotics. How did you get involved in robotics?
So one of my coworkers who worked in the lab was a mentor already, and he recruited me to come and help be a mentor as well. And I think I was part of his succession plan. So,
very nice.
A few years after I started mentoring, then he left to do some other things that he was interested in doing, and his son had graduated as well. So
okay, what is the role? Yeah, for those who don't know, what is the role of a mentor when you're in FIRST Robotics?
So the role of a mentor is to help teach kids and show the students what it looks like to be an engineer or to be on the marketing team, to help guide the students, keep them focused on next tasks, what should be done next. And then as lead mentor, there's some other things as well, more trying to look after people, make sure that food is arranged,
logistics,
and logistics, and receiving complaints or concerns that people may have and trying to address them as well.
Is it challenging being a mentor?
Some days it can be. Mostly I would say it's fun. It's one of the things that I like to do. So
yeah, what do you find most rewarding about being a mentor?
Definitely seeing the kids learning and growing and learning new skills, like as Hannah has learned programming over the last few years. And then at the St. Joseph competition this year, our main programmer happened to be on vacation, and Hannah was able to program what we needed on the robot, keep it running, and make improvements even with very little guidance. So that's
nice.
It's those types of things that are why I like to be a mentor.
Yeah. Yeah. What and this is all volunteers, so thank you for volunteering your time for that. What do you find most challenging as a mentor? Are there challenges?
Usually the people part of it, sort of like the human resources.
People are too much variable, aren't they?
Yeah.
They add too many variables to it.
And the worst part.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. All right, well, good. And so you'll continue doing this? Do you have a plan? Do you have a succession plan? Or are you going to stick around for a while?
As far as I know,
to be announced
for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what might happen in life, but right now I'm planning to still be around.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. And so you're a co-lead mentor. So you have, how many mentors do you have on the Robotarians?
I think we have about 7.
Okay.
7 that come regularly.
That's a good ratio.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, I mean, if you have like 14 members on the team and 7 mentors, that's good.
Yep.
Okay. All engineers?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have one mentor from our marketing mentor who's not an engineer.
Okay. There's always time. We can shape them up out of marketing. Okay. Speaking of marketing, Allison Moore, you're from Michigan Lutheran. You work on the marketing. How did you get that assignment? How did you get that involvement?
Basically just like they asked me what I was interested in and just kind of directed me to marketing room and just told me like different things I could start doing. So one of the first things I think I remember doing was like talking about like designing the spirit shirt. So I was able to like bring my drawing tablet and just like sketch up designs and like over like a week or two, just like talk about it with the entire team. And we have like on Saturdays we all meet up together and like have lunch and just like talk about what we've done throughout the week. So it was just really fun to be able to show like the like progress of my shirt design and like learning like more colors means more expensive. So that kind of burst my bubble.
Yeah,
but
right?
It was still really fun just trying to overcome that challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. What had you thought about? I mean, is this something that you want to continue to study or pursue?
Probably. Like I really like social aspects and like creative like designing things like a lot of what marketing is. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. All right. And so what drew you to join the team in the first place?
I heard about it like from our school, and I had done like FLL in the past, so like the
FLL,
Lego League.
First Lego League?
Yeah, Lego
Okay.
Leagues. And I had done that in like 3rd and 4th grade, and I had like a blast with that. So I was like really curious what like the bigger robot was about.
Yeah.
So just like I was able to come in on the off season just to like help around and like see like more of the Osco warehouse place and just like see how big like the field was that we had, and got to get to know a lot of people because a decent amount of kids that are on our team also go to my school. So like I already had some connections there. So that was also really fun.
You're on the marketing team, Allison, but also you are part of the drive team as well. Talk about what's your role on the drive team? What is the drive team? It's not transmission. I thought it was the transmission initially, but it's about driving the robot, right?
Yeah. So we have 4 people on our team. We have the main driver or the pilot, the co-pilot, the human player or element, whatever it's called, and then the technician, which I am. So my role is just to like help assist the robot to get to the field and just like make it so that like the driver has time to set up and just get ready before the competition actually starts. Then I'm also like observing, taking notes in my head, and just like trying to help out in that way.
Okay. And on the drive team, so there are 4 drivers, right? And you mentioned something that was interesting to me. All drivers are female this year. Mm-hmm. Is that a unique?
Yeah.
Is that something unusual among robotics?
I think so.
Yeah. Hannah, you're shaking your head like yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think we encountered any other all-girl teams at our events, but they're certainly out there.
Yeah. No, I think that's good.
There's even, I think, one team in Michigan at least that's an all-girls team. Our team, all-girls team. Our team is not all girls. It's just our drive team.
Yeah.
This year was all girls.
That's great.
It's definitely unusual.
Yeah. No, it's encouraging as well. And have you seen the movie Rule Breakers or heard about it? This is about the first robotics team from Afghanistan, which is all girls. And I think it was in 2017. They broke all the rules that for Afghanistan and got to world's competition. I don't know if they won or not, but it's a movie. It's out there right now, so check it out. Highly recommend it. Andrew Green reviewed it. He's from our newsroom. Okay, we're talking with the Creative Works Technologies Robotarians. Melissa is the co-lead mentor, Allison from Michigan Lutheran, and Hannah from Our Lady of the Lake. And I got a message from Dale. Dale says, as former lead mentor, the origin of the Robotarian mascot was a Digimon-inspired drawing by a team member, Rico Adams. And he says Robotarians came from robot and vegetarians versus carnivore. Can we confirm this?
Yes, I think I know who Dale is. And
Okay.
Yes, he would be the one who would know the best.
All right. So robot and vegetarian. I love that. Robotarians. That makes sense, right? Okay. I'll stop. Okay. We'll come back in just a moment. It's the Robotics Roundup. It's happening here on WSJM. It's brought to you by Cook Nuclear and also by Berrien Springs Public Schools and by Lake Michigan College. We'll continue with this interview in just a few moments right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got financial news coming up from Bloomberg in just a moment. ABC for world and national news, our state news from the Michigan News Network, and sports on WSJM. All right, back on the video live stream. It's 7:30. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. The Community Lounge asked, what inspired you as a Robotarian to get involved with FIRST Robotics? Anybody want to take that? Hannah, I haven't heard from you on your inspiration for joining the robotics.
Yeah, so I was thinking about different career paths, and engineering was one of the things I was considering. So I wanted to get involved to kind of see what that would be like a little bit.
Yeah. So what's your background? What piqued your interest in engineering, would you say?
I really enjoy science and math classes. Those tend to be my favorite classes, and I think that I'm interested in kind of the designing and troubleshooting and interested in developing new technology is what I would love to do. So.
Yeah. Do you ever play around with AI at all?
Not that much.
Okay. It's interesting. I don't know. Some people say it's the future, artificial intelligence. What about you?
Well, I just interested in just like the fun of it. Like I had done like Lego leagues in the past, so just like with like younger kids and a lot simpler, but I was interested in the more complicated stuff. And I also heard that they had a marketing area where you write essays and like talk to sponsors and just like a whole bunch of other things like that. And that just really stuck out to me because I like writing essays and just presenting things.
Yeah. Tell us about the first two competitions. So where was your first competition and how did things go?
Our first competition was at St. Joseph. I think it went pretty well. I'm not quite sure what we were ranked, but I think that we presented strongly in our qualification matches and got some stuff working on our robot that we'd been trying to get working for a really long time.
What were some of those challenge areas, the things you were trying to get working?
So one of the challenges presented to us in the game was to take these large kickballs off of this kind of structure of poles called the reef, and we had designed a claw to do that. We were having issues with its extension, which we eventually figured out how to get that working. Additionally, if you place on top of these poles, if you place on the highest level of them, you put a 6-inch long PVC tube on top of this pole, you get a ton of points. So we were working on getting that placement working.
Yeah, I would say St. Joseph was steady improvement. Like there between matches, we would go to the practice field or work on the robot and continue to make continuous improvements.
Okay, so you use that time in between the matches to make tweaks on the robot.
Mm-hmm.
That must be. Did you go to use the test field a lot? Yes.
Yep,
okay.
quite a bit, yep.
Okay. And what did you find that most of the tweaks were centered on? Was it a programming thing? Was it a physical attachment thing? How did you continuously improve?
There were definitely some programming things I was doing, but I would say that it was probably, and there were some controls issues as well, or changing how some of the buttons worked.
And also there were a couple of field elements where we didn't have the real ones at our build site. We had ones that were similar, but the real but they were made of PVC, and the real ones are metal. And especially, as Hannah was saying, the highest level ones, we did not have something that was super representative, and so we were able to use the practice field that has the real field elements.
Okay.
To fine tune a few things of the speed at which we were ejecting the PVC pipe and tune that in so that we could be a lot more consistent.
How fun is that? So did you build this year's robot from the ground up, from scratch? Didn't build on last year's robot? No. Yes, no?
I mean, there's a little bit of reuse, but in general, we built it from scratch, and we also used some new swerve modules, a different brand than we had used in previous years. So
Okay. Why did you use a different brand?
Cost was less, and also some of the features of how the gears interacted and how it attached to the frame were of interest
Very nice. How much did your robot weigh?
I believe it was 114 pounds.
Okay.
At one point, yeah, it was 114.
At one point.
Down to 110, yeah. Somewhere between 110 and 115. And the max is 115.
The max is 115 before you put the bumpers on.
And before the bumpers and battery.
Okay. Oh, and battery? They don't include the battery in that? Oh, that's
No.
good because batteries are heavy.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're doing Robotics Roundup right now. It's brought to you by Lake Michigan College, by Cook Nuclear, and by Berrien Springs Public Schools. I'm Ken Lundberg. The morning show continues. We've got on the radio right now, we're about to get into our Bloomberg Market Minute. We'll have ABC News, as long as I make sure I move that over there. We'll have ABC News and our weather forecast and a preview of what we're talking about in our 8 o'clock news. That's coming up in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. All right. Some of the other things. Let's see. Paul. Let's see. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. All right. Good. The on the marketing standpoint, when you were Allison, when you were going around and taking a look at some of the other teams and what they were doing, what did you see that you liked that maybe you started incorporating or will start to incorporate if you stick with robotics?
So I know, like, at the kickoff event, there was, like, that's, like, every team basically in our area got together at Lake Michigan College. And so there we were just talking a lot about, like, ways to impact our community. So that's, like, the main thing that I focused on, like, and remember about is, like, other people did, like, other parades and, like, other, like camps, I think. I don't remember all the names of these things, but it just, like, it was a lot of things just to think about for, like, off season and just, like, lots of ways to help get, like, our name out there more and just to improve our team and our community.
Do you have a slate of impact? Well, I've got to get back on the radio here. Hold on just one moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Sometimes I forget about the clock. And we have to come back and do news because that's what we do here on the WSJM Morning Show. We talk about news, we talk about views, we provide community information. And one of the things that we're doing right now is we're talking with the Robotarians. They are a team made up of community homeschools, Coloma High School, Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, and Michigan Lutheran High School. And the Robotarians have been competing with their 114-pound robot. Is that right? 114-pound robot. And we'll find out how they've been doing and what they're going to be doing next and what inspires them as well. It's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Right now, we're going to get a little bit more news. We've got our world and national news from ABC. We'll take a quick look at what we're covering in the WSJM newsroom, and then we'll come back for Michigan News Network, and then our sports with Dave Wolf. That's coming up next here on WSJM. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Some of the stories that we're taking a look at from the WSJM newsroom. In Niles, a teacher is on administrative leave and an internal investigation is underway after allegations surfaced regarding inappropriate contact with a minor. In a letter to parents, Superintendent Dr. Adam Birtsfield confirmed one of their teachers is on leave. The investigation is underway and local police have been contacted to ensure appropriate authorities are involved. We'll tell you more about that story coming up at 8 o'clock. Other news, a package of legislation intended to boost the development of small modular nuclear reactors in Michigan is moving forward in Lansing. It's been approved by a state House committee. We'll tell you a little bit more about that and our area's representatives' involvement. And then also the Citizens Research Council of Michigan has released a new analysis of Michigan's road system and found that there are some misconceptions about how roads funding should happen. And what, because that's a big debate happening in Lansing right now. They're talking about a $3.9 billion gap in the road funding, but they say that might be inaccurate. It might be a lot lower than that. So we'll tell you about those stories and more. That's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7:40. We've got sports coming up next with Dave Wolf after a look at state news. Okay, back on the video live stream. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. Sorry, I could hear somebody out there, but they weren't responding. So hopefully, if you know the person, they can bring them in. If they don't know the person, don't let them in because it's a radio station. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Good morning. Welcome back to the Robotics Roundup. I'm Ken Lundberg. We're visiting this morning with Robotarians and Creative Works Technologies Robotarians. And again, a correction from the lead mentor. Oh, come on in. Was it anyone we knew? No. Just somebody. Okay.
There's a business truck out there, but they weren't at the door.
Oh, a business truck?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sources.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully they'll come back after 8 o'clock. But again, the origin of the Robotarian mascot was a Digimon-inspired drawing by a team member, and the Robotarian's name came from robot and vegetarian versus carnivore. What would you have been if you were carnivores instead of Robotarian? Robovores? Robotivore?
No.
All right. So you've had the two competitions. How do these typically go? So explain for somebody who doesn't know, how does scoring go and how do you get to Worlds?
Yeah, so there are kind of two phases to the competitions. There are the qualification matches, which everyone participates in. And during that section, you can gain ranking points through achieving different tasks during the matches, which will increase your placing in the competition. And eventually, after all of the qualification matches finish, you'll have a ranking of all the teams, and the top 8 teams will pick other teams to compete with in the final matches, where teams compete in a bracket to determine who the winner is. Now, during all of this, you're also gaining district points at the same time. And district points are what actually determine whether or not you make it to the state and world competitions.
Okay. Yeah, keep going.
The district points, you gain them through placing high in the rankings from the qualification matches. You also gain them from winning awards and from competing in the finals.
Okay. Were you surprised at all at how you performed this year?
I'd say that maybe a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, I think we were hoping to have a few more points than we got, especially at West Michigan. The robot was doing well, and then we had a couple unfortunate things happen where the robot broke or some unusual things that put our ranking a lot lower than we were earlier in the day.
Yeah, we were talking off air for just a moment about what happened at the West Michigan competition. Maybe let's step back and remind or tell people what actually happened. So you're competing. You've been in the arena. You're moving coral. You're moving reefs. All kinds of stuff's happening. And then the last competition comes about. What happens?
Yeah, so the last qualification match, we took the robot out onto the field. It had been working well actually earlier in the morning, Saturday morning. We had done some fixing Friday evening and Saturday morning. It did awesome the first 2 matches.
Yeah.
And we take the robot out on the field. The last match, power it up as usual, and Nothing. The robot computer wouldn't talk. It wouldn't boot up.
No
Or
booting
do
up. You got the
anything.
blue screen of death basically out on the competition field.
Yeah, exactly. And so they have some technical assistance there. We worked with them, tried to get it up and working, but to avoid delay of game, basically, we had to do the best thing for the rest of the teams on our alliance in terms of ranking points. We chose to remove our robot from the field for that match.
That's tough.
Yeah, that was tough, definitely.
That's a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So what eventually was the issue?
It turned out to be an issue with our SIM card.
Okay.
Something got broken with it, but once we re-imaged it, so kind of retold it what our team number was and how to communicate with our robot and our computer, it started working again fine. So.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Just something as small as a SIM card.
Yeah, we were ranked, I think, 12th or something before that match, and then after that match, we fell to being ranked as 19th.
Oh.
So yeah, and
That's tough.
Not the best look if you're trying to have somebody pick you for their alliance.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we did get picked still. But
We'll continue this story in just a moment. We've got to get our weather forecast, and then we'll come back on the radio and share that right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Good? Okay, we'll be right back. All right, back on the show. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:47, about 13 minutes in front of 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, we'll have the latest world and national news from ABC. We'll have the latest state news and local news as well from our WSJM newsroom. We'll have sports from Dave Wolf. And we're talking this morning, it's Robotics Roundup, and it's brought to you by Cook Nuclear, the Berrien Springs Public Schools, and by Lake Michigan College. And we're talking with, this morning, the Robotarians. And the Robotarians are represented here this morning by Melissa Burchill, who's the co-lead mentor, Allison Moore, who's from Michigan Lutheran, and Hannah Heisel, who's from Our Lady of the Lake. And we've been talking about what got them interested in robotics, what got them interested in competitions with First Robotics, and then also some of the things that they've been experiencing since then. And we were talking just a moment ago about your competition in West Michigan, where in the last qualifying match, your robot decided it wasn't going to work with a broken SIM card. That's tough. How long did it take you, Hannah, to decipher that it was a SIM card that was causing the issue?
I was not actually the one to decipher that.
Okay.
So we just saw that our driver station was not getting robot code, which I had made changes to the code right before that, so that definitely worried me a lot. But it turned out not to be an issue with that.
Okay.
But I'd say that figuring out that it was an issue with the SIM card was definitely above my pay grade. I believe that the people running the field, the technical advisors there, thought that it would be a SIM card issue and then communicated that to our lead programming mentor.
yeah, based on the symptoms, we asked when we were trying to get it working out on the field in the 5 or 10 minutes that they gave us to try to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
I had asked them, well, when this happens, like what are these symptoms usually indicate? And
Right.
They said could be the SIM card was bad.
And so you still got to participate as an alliance, though. Is that right? And for those who don't understand, the alliance is there are those who score the most points and are in the final rounds, but then you get those teams get to pick additional helpers for their final competitions. You were chosen. Who chose you, and what qualities were they looking at for you in that alliance?
So we were picked by Team Chaos. Their team number was 74, and they'd already picked Team Wobot. I think that they were looking for another strong scorer in terms of placing the coral, which are like 6-inch long PVC tubes, on the reef, which is this rack of pipes.
And we had after we had to carry our robot off with the broken SIM card, we did go out. We did re-image it. Had to re-image the Robo Rio, and then went to the practice field to demonstrate that
Make
the
sure that
robot
it's
was
working.
still working. And
Yeah.
Team Chaos was there watching and asked us, "Hey, what happened?" So we were on their radar, and they were checking to see if our robot would be operational.
Speaking of the robot itself, you already told us that it was about 114, 115 pounds, 114 pounds under the 1 pound under the weight limit. The money that it takes to put a robot together. Talk a little bit about that, if you would. What did it take to finance your team this year?
So for most years, we estimate it takes about $20,000
Okay.
to run the team during the season from like January to March and some of the off-season activities. Then if you go to, and that usually includes going to state. Then if you go to Worlds, we usually estimate you need an additional $20,000
Wow.
for travel to Houston.
And the
all that.
registration fee and
the
everything.
Registration
Okay.
fee, yep.
Wow. And so did you make the money this year
We
that you
did,
needed?
yes.
Keep it in budget?
That, I don't know. One of our treasurer for the organization does more
Has
of that,
disappeared,
but-
gone to Mexico. Okay, very good. No. What sponsors would you like to thank for helping you make that money this year?
I think we want to thank our platinum sponsors, which are Edgewater Automation, Osco Products, Bosch, Fortress Manufacturing, Mensha, and Whirlpool Corporation.
The second to last one was Menasha. They're located in Coloma.
Okay. All right, very good. And I mean, I hear those companies and I think about the engineering opportunities. It's great that they're supporting First Robotics, and it's great that you get to see the involvement of those teams. I especially love that Osco has given you like a practice field and an area to work on your robot. Has that been pretty cool?
Yeah. It's extremely useful because we're not really associated with, I mean, our team is, Coloma is our sponsor school, but we're not given any space there, and Osco giving us a ton of space where we have the space to build a practice field and build a robot and have a marketing room and electrical room is extremely useful.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have room for a full playing field there, so that's really helpful because some teams even that are in schools don't have that luxury. So
That's
very
great.
nice.
That's really cool. All right. Well, thank you to Osco and to the other sponsors as well for helping bring the Robotarians to life this year. We'll be back to conclude this interview in just a moment as part of our Moody on the Market update. We'll bring that back to you in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. All right, back on the video live stream. Anything else that we should be talking about this morning? What are your plans after school for like higher education? Anybody have any thoughts yet?
Yeah, so I think I'm planning on going to University of Michigan to study engineering. Not quite sure what type yet, but
I hear they have a good engineering school there.
yeah.
What when you say you don't know what kind of engineering, are you thinking mechanical, civil? I mean, is the whole field open to you?
I mean, I'm still considering all my options. Everything just seems really interesting, but I'd say some of my top would probably be mechanical, electrical, or chemical.
Okay, chemical engineering. And do you get to take those kinds of courses where you're going right now?
No.
Anything along those lines?
Well, I've taken physics and chemistry and calculus in high school.
Okay. So that's preparing you. Okay, very good. How about you, Allison?
No idea really yet, just because haven't thought too much about it. But
And I should ask you, what grades are you in?
I'm a senior.
Okay, senior.
I'm a freshman.
Okay.
So.
All right. So big disparity there. So it's okay. You haven't thought about it yet. You can pick. We got an hour left. No, I'm just kidding. So what are you thinking? You seem to be drawn to the marketing and the social aspects of that.
Yeah. So a thought that I had recently was possibly a pilot or some social like that, but just something to deal with people and just the fun of sharing ideas and creativity.
That's awesome. You were mentioning earlier about the impact. So what sort of community activities are Robotarians either involved in, doing, or thinking about for this year?
I know one of our people on our team actually mentors the FRC, no
FTC.
FTC schools from Coloma. I think they're the Ratchet Robots.
Yeah, which is the middle school robotics.
FTC
program.
is? Okay.
hmm
Yeah, and so he helps out mentoring them a lot, and I think he's going to continue. I'm not entirely sure on that.
Yep. So, and we also usually host at Coloma an FTC event in the fall, usually November, December
Okay.
time frame. We host an event. We're planning to be at the Berrien County Youth Fair one day. Usually we do that. And what else? We also help usually with the STEM for Them. They have a week where they do STEM activities. We usually come in one afternoon to do activities there.
Okay. STEM being science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You probably work arts in there as well for a little STEAM. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we'll be back in just a moment. We've got to wrap up this interview. It's going to be part of our Moody on the Market update. Anything else that we need to mention? I know that we've talked about the robot. What's the robot's name?
Scuberto.
Say it again.
Scuberto.
Scuberto. Why Scuberto?
I came up with that name, so
Okay.
I thought like scuba because it's like an underwater theme, and then Roberto just came to mind, and merge them together, just weird mad mash, and Scuberto.
Scuberto. I like it. Hannah, you okay with that name?
Yeah, it's a great name.
Okay, very good. What was last year's robot's name? Do you remember?
It was Beastie Bot.
Yeah, it was a music theme last year. And
Yeah.
So Beastie Bot. Was
Beastie
a good
Bot,
one.
like the
Yeah.
Beastie Boys. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, we'll be back in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
In Tokyo, it's all just an easy drive, easy park, and easy lines to go to the places you've always wanted to go. Travel today at flysbn.com. Happy starts here.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And part of our morning show includes the Moody on the Market update, which is always brought to you by Insurance Management Service. You can call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And some of the things we like to talk about on the Moody on the Market update are interesting people you should know in Southwest Michigan and life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. And we also talk about business updates. I think actually, hearing from the Robotarians this morning, we hit almost all three buckets in a very good way because you've got business involvement, it's life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here, and also interesting people you should know. So thank you, Melissa, Allison, and Hannah. And your handler, who will not get near the microphones this morning. Thank you all for coming in this morning. We really appreciate you and appreciate you sharing your information about Robotarians and the first robotics competition. Anything else, anyone else that you want to recognize or thank this morning? Anything else that you want to point out to people? What are the plans next year for the robot? And we already learned that the robot's name this year was Scuberto, and last year was Beastie Bot. So next year, what are we thinking?
Depends on the theme of the game and
Okay.
what inspires. Usually we collect ideas for names and then we vote on it to decide the final name.
I like that because last year's was a music theme, so hence the Beastie Bot. And then this year's Scuberto was part scuba, part Roberto, just because. Okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations on doing well. So you think you're done for the year? What are you going to do with the robot now? What happens to Scuberto?
So we will probably show it at different places. Like we'll bring it to the Berrien County Youth Fair and STEM for Them. Also, I think we might compete in some off-season events, which are just unofficial events that you can compete in to just improve your driving skills and work on your robot some.
All right. Well, congratulations on a successful season, and thank you for showing the robot around the community. I think getting other people involved and interested and even aware that these possibilities exist is really important for science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, and thank you for your commitment to volunteer to be a mentor for the team. 14 years. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think we would also thank our other mentors who aren't here. I'm the face of the mentors today, and also our team parents who fill in all the gaps at competitions and help with food and transportation. So
Very
I
good.
really appreciate what they do too.
All right. Thank you very much. It's 8 o'clock, ABC News.
Group chat at which military attack plans were discussed. ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz reports.
President Trump snapped.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to end it because we had to get our network news in. But anything else? You were mentioning the parents especially, right? Because they help you a lot.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, help do some of the small things that help me to focus on either the drive team or keeping the team organized. So they help with food, transportation, running to the store for some emergency things. So yeah, we appreciate the parents as well.
Creative Works Technologies Robotarians, thank you all for coming in today. We appreciate you. This wasn't painful, was it? Did it work out okay?
Yeah.
All right, it was okay? Media-wise, this is what you expected?
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, we'll do better next time. All right. All right, well, thank you for joining us, and that does it for the WSJM video live stream today.